Hey, and welcome back for some more Blindfold Chess. This is episode 16, and as the name suggests, I can't see the pieces. I'm staring at an empty board. I'm also using Zen mode, so I can't see any sort of move history. I won't rewind it to get an indication of what moves have been played. So I have to keep track of the game in my mind. I use a little bit of assistance when it comes to highlighting the pawn structure here and there, but it's mostly for the viewer, a little bit for myself. And as this series progresses, I hope to use less and less visual aid, if that makes sense. I'm using a special account I got permission to make where I play blindfold chess only on this account, so my opponents are not blindfolded. And it's all in an attempt to improve my visualization and in turn, hopefully improve my chess, specifically my blunders, piece hanging. If I improve my visualization, perhaps I can kind of curb some of these unforgivable type of and frequent blunders that occur in my games. So that's the whole goal of this thing, improve my visualization. And this next game was a roller coaster, we'll just say that. I did have a bit of technical difficulties though. OBS is a pain in my ass. It's what I use to record everything. It's the layout and all that sort of stuff. But I crop the clocks separate from the board, and sometimes I'll start recording, but because I'm on a single monitor here, I don't open OBS after the game has started, and I didn't realize until the very end that the clocks weren't refreshed, meaning they were like frozen in a state from the previous game. So you unfortunately, in this next game you're about to see, you don't get to see the time trouble I was in, and it's a shame. There's no way for me to edit that back on or figure that out. So it's unfortunate, but just needless to say, my opponent basically used less than their increment every single move until the end almost. Like, I can't remember the final times, but I'm pretty sure my opponent had like 19. We started at 20 plus 7 rapid game of chess. And my opponent, I believe, had like 19 minutes or something. I can't really remember. I might be mixing it up with another game because this is a frequent occurrence actually. But I'm pretty sure my opponent had like 19 minutes and something, and I had a minute and a half or something like that. So needless to say, it was getting pretty dicey for me. This game was a roller coaster. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let's jump in. Okay, we have a game, and we are the black pieces, and my opponent has just pushed e4. I'm going to be using voice input, no move history, playing with Zen mode. We'll see how it goes. c6. Confirm. We are going to play a caro kann. Perfect. My opponent is playing basically the caro kann advance, but in a different move order, so we're going to give it the treatment. Actually, no, this is a little different. I've seen this before. I'm going to push d5, and my opponent's probably going to take en passant. And I'm totally fine with that, if that's what they do. d5. Confirm. Okay, my opponent just played knight f3. So now we've transposed to caro kann advance. So I'm going to play c5. c5. Confirm. My opponent has just played d3. So yeah, my opponent has a pawn structure like this right now. And this is in the center, and this is mine. That's a different move. Usually people play d4. Anyway, we're gonna play knight c6, knight c6, and he just blocked his Confirm. And he just blocked his light square bishop in. So that's not good. Okay, so opponent's pawn structure in the center is a little strange. And I've got this going on. It's my pawn structure. So my opponent did play knight f3. So we're gonna play the customary bishop g4. Confirm. I got someone playing a loud video game behind me. You might pick that up on the mic. They're playing The Last of Us. Okay, bishop out there. That's an interesting move. Since we're playing the caro kann, we often try to pin this knight, even if it's not pinned, there's a bishop here. But it's always customary to close up the pawn chain behind the bishop. e6. Confirm. My opponent castled. So, I have one last piece. Well, I need to bring these out. So I think it's customary in this position, the knight should go there. But there's a pawn there, so this is kind of like the advanced. So I guess what we're going to do... Well, we could just win this pawn. No, there's a bishop here. Okay, I got to remember where the opponent's minor pieces are. My opponent has a dark square bishop here, a knight here, a bishop here, and a knight here. I have a knight here and a bishop here. It's very, very interesting. So yeah, I think the customary thing is we're going to bring our knight here, and I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to go here or here. But let's go knight g e7. Knight g e7. Knight g e7. Confirm. And since this pawn is not defended, there's a pawn here, I'm really thinking about going here. Usually in the advanced it goes to the f5, but this isn't a true advance because the pawn is still on d3. And it all depends what my opponent does next. Queen there. Well, I could simply attack not only the bishop, but the pawn twice with two knights. And I need to get the knight out of the way anyway. Yeah. Knight g6. No. The voice input's a little clunky. Knight g6. Confirm. Okay. So we officially have pressure on here. Obviously, I'd have to eliminate this knight first. So the queen is defending it. Interesting. But this is our pawn structure right now. I could attack the queen, but the queen could go there and light up on this. Light my b7 pawn up. So I don't like that. We're going to keep that there for now. Oh no, the knight is there. So we have to at least consider this. Push, attacking the queen. Push, where does the queen go? She might go there. Or here. No, there's a bishop there, can't go there. Or back. So that's what the queen's gonna do. I suppose the queen could swing over here, attacking my b7 pawn. It's very customary in caro kann structures to initiate some sort of trade potentially and open up my A file. That's totally fine. How do I want to do this? Because playing hope chess, if the queen does go back, if the queen doesn't go back, I still can't take this pawn. But I could add yet one more defender, or attacker, I should say. And it would defend the b7 pawn from any potential this. So I think instead of developing the bishop, why not just pile up on this pawn? What if my opponent moves the rook? Well, then I just, you know, I can always, he moves the rook, I need to get castled, so, you know, I would be playing bishop f7 in that line anyway, so maybe it makes more sense to play bishop f7 now. Let's play bishop f7. Bishop f7. Bishop f7. Okay, we just played. Oh, why am I saying f7? No wonder it was confused. I'm thinking about the bishop on f going to e7, so I combine the two. Computer should know what that means. Okay. And then my next move is going to be queen c7 for sure. Depending if he puts a rook on e1. If he puts a rook on e1, now I have the option of castling first. And there's no point in playing queen c7 if he puts his rook on e1. I'm still not even convinced. Okay. Caro kann moment. This is a definite moment where you trade the bishop. It's been attacked. And we're going to remember that the knight on f3 is gone this time. In prior game, a few back, I thought it was there the entire game after I took it like this. Bishop takes f3. Confirm. So my opponent has a bishop here now, a queen here, a bishop here. This other knight is still here. Oh, here. So, pawn structure. Isn't this bishop trapped? You know, I didn't even consider this move. This bishop is defended, or this pawn is defended by my queen. He could go there. No, he couldn't, because my bishop can take. Doesn't this just lose a piece? e5. It's defended by my knight. It's defended by my knight. So he takes, I take. Yeah, no way. Maybe I'm losing it. But we're going to go e5. e5. Oh, wait. What am I thinking? He has a pawn on e5. You see how easy I forget this stuff. Okay, okay. This is my opponent. I gotta speed up here. Okay. So I officially have a bishop here. I can't play e5. Yeah, this is... I'm gonna play queen c7. Queen c7. Confirm. He's probably going to play rook e1. I'm going to castle. So I have 1, 2, 3 attackers. And he only has 1, 2 defenders, but he could add another. Takes, yeah. So, if he plays rook e1, what do we do? I think it's logical that we castle. I can't believe I was trying to push e5. What a bonehead. What a bonehead I am. And the pin idea, like if he plays something else, let's just say he plays something else. Maybe he gets this knight here or something. Okay, so he played the rook. Good move. I was going to say that if he played something else and then I took and then he played the rook, it doesn't work because you can take the bishop with check. But he played rook e1. Excuse me. Carbonated bubblies. We could rip open the king side. No. We could just take this bishop. So my opponent's pawn structure looks like this over here. There's a bishop sitting here. I could just take. And then play bishop here. No, because my queen isn't here anymore. What about eliminating the bishop and then rerouting our bishop? Potentially we play c4 and get our bishop here. I think it's time to eliminate this bishop while he lets us. Knight takes f4. Confirm. I think I'm going to play c4 now. Maybe I should castle. Maybe I should play c4. c4 though could walk into this and I can't take because of this. Yeah, it gets ugly. So that I think I'll just castle. I could consider pushing f6 even. So my opponent's got a weird pawn structure. Well, not weird. Weird here. Okay, and then this is me. Okay, so my opponent's pawn structure looks like this now. My pawn structure looks, oh yeah, it looks like this. So I have a knight and a queen piling up on this. My bishop needs to get a little better. Queen's here, it's a weird square. The queen is undefended. Why can't I just go here? Because the pawn cannot take. Because he'll lose his queen. The queen is undefended. I'm gonna do it. Bishop f6. Confirm. C takes d4. Confirm. Okay, so we're in an advance now. This is a true advance now. My opponent has a pawn structure like this. But because he pushed this first, so there, the C file is officially open for business. This is my opponent's pawn structure now. My opponent can move a rook here now, and the knight there. The queen is still, this is not a threat. I think we should play rook a-c8. Rook a-c8. Confirm. I have to watch out that my bishop is not hanging. I'm gonna have to probably retreat. Okay, the knight moved. The knight can't really go anywhere. This is the pawn structure. Where's the knight going? Does the knight want to come here? Or my queen? Let's play a6. a6. Confirm. If he plays a rook, yeah, so I gotta play this to keep queen b8. Confirm. I gotta watch out for that bishop on f6 now. So the queen moved back. Bishop e7. Confirm. Threatening to take the knight. Okay, I'm going to start playing with the mouse because the voice input, I'm low on time. Once again, my opponents have a huge time advantage, so it's time to start moving the mouse. I have a 7-second increment, so... And I'm going to double rooks, potentially. It's hard to do with this queen here. So yeah, we have a pawn structure like this in the middle. I think I'm going to take the knight. Didn't even double. Didn't even double. So my queen is here. She's a little trapped, but at least she's not guarding this because there's a pawn here. There's pawns here. So we're going to play rook here. I still have a knight here. I have to remember this. I'm going to double rooks. I have a knight here. Yeah, let's double rooks. The bishop is still here, correct? So this pawn is hanging. So if I take and my opponent takes, I can take with check first. Right? Am I missing something? Crucial. My queen is here. My rooks are here. His queen is there. I'm positive he has a bishop here still. I took his knight. We've traded dark square bishops. Yeah. So if I take, he's going to take, I'm going to take with check, and then I'm going to take back. It's a clutch moment. Hope I'm right. I don't understand what just happened. Oh, he took with the pawn. Okay, and now... Ooh. I'm up a pawn. I'm up a pawn. What did my opponent just do? Wait. Yeah. I'm up a pawn, doing well. Queen infiltrated. Okay, we have to be careful about this. The queen is here. This is my pawn structure. This is my opponent's pawn structure. This is my opponent's pawn structure. I'm completely crushing here. I'm going to take. And now I'm not going to take this pawn because of checkmate issues. So we're going to give ourselves a little bit of luft. And then we'll take the pawn. So there are no more minor pieces on the board, correct? Yeah, he's defending the pawn. I have this pawn structure. My opponent has this pawn structure. So this is a lone pawn. But there's no more rooks, it's just queens on the board, and there is no... So we're gonna try to initiate a queen trade because this is completely winning for us. Nope. We're gonna push b5 first. queen was eyeing that up. Yeah, now the queen wants to go here. Because this is my pawn structure, so we'll just go here. Oh, wait. Opponent. It's okay. We'll go here. Yeah. We'll protect our A6 pawn. I'm probably going to lose this game on time. My opponent's just blitzing things out, and I'm using my time as usual. It's a shame. I'm going to do my best here. Clutch moment. I'm going to probably talk a little less. Yeah, we're just styling with our pawn structure. Yeah, so I gave my king a little bit of luft. And now this pawn is going to hang. Okay, so this is my pawn structure. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. I guess we'll just start expanding, right? King's there. Could I not get a check in here? No, there's a pawn here. This is my opponent's pawn structure. So I have to remember that. I hope he pushes something. So let's get our king here. Oh my god, this is such a clutch moment. I'm totally winning. My opponent is here. Opponent has now went here. And I'm here. Maybe I need to give up. This is my pawn structure. Maybe I just need to give these pawns up. But I don't want to. This is my pawn structure. This is my pawn structure. My queen is here. And I'm looking like this with the king here. So what's he doing? I don't see anything that he's doing. I gotta play way faster. Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous. This is not the exercise I want. Is he forcing a perpetual? No, he's not. Yeah. Holy crap, are you kidding me? I can't believe I fucked this up. I can't believe I fucked this up. I'm a fucking loser. I'm a fucking loser. We'll take the draw. We'll take the draw. Queen went there. I just took his queen. He takes mine. I take this. It promotes. No way. Oh, what a clutch moment. No way. I don't deserve to win that one. I fucked up so bad back here. Yeah, let's take a look. The moment where and I mean, I was in a bullet game at this point, so I need some slack cut. Is this decision I didn't, I had a couple minutes or less, a minute, and I'm, just looking for a move. And I don't know what I should have done here. Like right here. I think, it's so hard when you have only a minute and you can't see to make quick decisions. Yet you're trying to think about the pawn structure. So like, he's on a dark square, so I should have kept my king on a light square maybe and start coming after pawns. Because he's got not much, but I probably always have to guard this pawn because he's going to try to weasel his way down here. Yeah, I don't know. It's very hard. You have to think about where everything is, and you can't just make these lightning decisions. So, that being said, I played this, and then I start getting pretty weak on the dark squares. And I forgot he had a pawn here, so this check just screwed me. And I should have, I was willing to take the draw here. I thought he was going to repeat moves, and then he got greedy for the win because he had so much time on the clock, and he didn't go for the draw. And yeah, I instantly jumped on this, thank God. And he was, the best case, he goes like this. I take king there, pawn there, king here. He can't catch it in time, promote. But he should have pushed me, because could I have done that with a minute on the clock blindfolded? I'm not sure. But yeah, we take those. Starting from the beginning, let's take a little burn through it. My opponent played this very different. I've never really seen this too much. So I just stuck to the principles. I'd say my first bonehead moment came right around here. I thought somewhere around here I started thinking I could push this and trap the bishop, but the bishop wasn't even trapped. So just seeing that the bishop has an escape, I'm not even sure why that was on my radar. And I also forgot about this pawn, so I'd say that was the first real bonehead thinking moment of the game. Thinking this bishop was trapped behind a pawn, which it wasn't, and forgetting about this pawn and thinking I could push e5. So, traded for the knight, put pressure on the pawn, took his dark square bishop. I thought this was neat, but this move ended up getting me into a lot of trouble. It forced this, which I liked, But I think I should have moved the bishop here instead of this. And that definitely, I was worried about the knight, so this is understandable, but now he gets this in, and I started feeling a little uncomfortable, and luckily I unwound. And then I'd say bonehead moment number 2. I thought, okay, I'm going to trade my nice dark square bishop for a knight because I'm doubling his pawns on the A file, which is great for me in this structure. So I forgot about the queen being on E3. So trading that bishop in that fashion, it's an L for this guy. So I wasn't too happy about that. Bonehead moment number 2. This was a beautiful clutch moment. I'm proud of seeing this blindfolded. That was pretty good. So I like that. And then what I should have done is consider pushing this, taking the pawn. Yeah, so we take once, looked for our king, opponent sees it. I think my opponent, I have to look at their rating, but they seem pretty solid. And they just were creating problems. And yeah, I was in a bullet game essentially at this point, blindfolded, so I started having a lot of mistakes and inaccuracies, and luckily, losing these pawns like that, terrible. That was the most bonehead moment of the game. But again, I was basically playing a blindfold bullet game at that point. I was happy to take the draw because of my time situation and messing up this side of the board so badly. And then my opponent blundered with this. Didn't really think about, it being my move after the capture, and I'm totally solid. So that was a very lucky but clutch win. We take those. I'm going to get out of here now. Until next time, cheers.